Today we are talking about firm determination. We're beginning a new series of discussion. We're going to be talking about 7 secrets of success. I've talked about this here before, maybe even a few weeks ago. I did all 7. We discussed all 7. But now we're going to go through them one at a time. And these 7 secrets of success, they come from Shiva. They are the 7 secrets that Shiva outlined, we believe, 7,000 years ago. One of the questions that his wife Parvati asked him was, Shiva, what are the secrets of success? Everybody wants success. How to attain that? And Shiva said, good question, sweetheart. Well, actually, I don't know if that's what he said. Good question, my love. I'll tell you, there are 7 secrets. Secret number 1 is to have firm determination. Now, success can mean a lot of different things to people. Success in our society, I think, is primarily defined as achievement, status, material accumulation. And why not? Success can be somewhat attributed to those things. But as you see these secrets of success that I'm going to be talking about, you'll realize that success can also be something much more broader. And in particular, I like to define these 7 secrets of success as more something like spiritual success, or success not only in, let's say, personal development, but also spirituality. So this is kind of like a nice blend of spiritual practice with personal development, which is perfect for our program here, because we talk about personal development topics, but we also practice spiritual meditation. So, and soon I'm going to hopefully be developing a course around firm determination and some other topics. Now, firm determination is, in a simple way, being able to accomplish our goals, being determined enough that any goal we set our minds to, we accomplish them. So right now I want to invite you to please type into the chat, how do you do this? How do you accomplish your goals? What do you do to make sure you accomplish them? There are a few factors that I'll talk about today. One of them is motivation. Motivation is important because there are many times when you have a big goal that, let's say you've been working on it for some time, but there will come a day where you don't want to work on it anymore. Even myself right now, I'm involved in a large project that, I started over the summer. I may not even get to finish it until this coming summer. And somewhere along the way, frankly, I lost some motivation to do it. And there could be different factors for that. Sometimes we lose motivation because the people we work with can be difficult, okay? Something changes in our lives that we can no longer, it's no longer as easy to continue the project. Like, we might have set aside some time for it. We didn't finish in time, but now other obligations have to take are important. And so then we have to sacrifice some time, and the goal becomes harder to accomplish. So motivation then is handy in those times because we are not motivated to finish. So how can we get motivated to finish? A simple suggestion is to just make choices. Make simple choices that allow you to regain some sense of control. For example, if you have many, and this is an example from Charles Duhigg's book on productivity, Better, Faster, More Productive. I think that's the name of the book. For example, he has a great anecdote that he talks about, which is sometimes he gets too many emails. He doesn't know where to begin to answer them. And he has no motivation to answer them because there's kind of like too big of a task. So he has to gain some control, and he will, for example, choose, okay, I'm going to answer the emails in the middle of my inbox. Or I'm going to start with the emails that are older. Or I'm going to go through the emails and I'm just going to type in I'm just going to give a basic answer to the email. No good mornings, no hellos, no sincerely at the end or best wishes at the end, just a straight line. And then when I'm done answering just the straight to the point of what the email is about, then I will go back and I will fill in some dear such and such, sincerely such and such. So, but the point is that it might seem like we're kind of even like sensational. Like, how is this really helping? But what it does is it creates little opportunities for you to make a choice, to have some control. I can control this. I can control what I type in this text box right now. Let me do that. Without having to completely satisfy what's required. And then later I'll go back and fill in the rest. So gaining some control is very helpful. When you have found that you have assigned a task to somebody. For example, I've had experiences where somebody assigns to me a task to do. And it's, especially if they notice that I'm unmotivated to do it, what they should do is they should say, please do this task, but you choose how you want to do it. Now that little aspect of control motivates the person to do the task. So, that's probably a good tip for raising children, right? You give your kids chores to do. All right, son, you have to clean the house. Or you have to clean the kitchen. Oh, I don't want to do that. Well, clearly the child doesn't want to do that. Your teenage son, let's say, doesn't want to do that. What can motivate the child to do that? Perhaps let the child choose how to do it, when to do it. I know that might be frustrating because you want it done now. But just giving that little amount of choice and control will motivate him to do it and actually complete it and maybe even do a better job. And maybe even do it at all. So choices like that help. And they've helped in my experience. And even as a teacher, like when I teach, I like to let my students choose their assignments that they want to work on, what they want to write about, topics they're interested in, not just what I think they should be writing about when I teach writing. So another little tip for motivation is when we are in those moments that, oh gosh, I just don't think I can take one step further. I'm just not motivated to do this thing. Ask yourself, why are you doing it? I mentioned this once here, the Marine Corps. They have a very, very intense, the most intense boot camp training of all of the military forces. And they have that final test, where it's like for 2 or 3 days, the young cadets, they have to go out and they get like no sleep. They have to go through all these obstacles, and they work as a team though. And they train them in advance. They say, listen, here's what you're going to do when you're out there on the field. You're going to ask each other questions. And your question should begin with, why? So when it looks like your buddy can no longer take any more steps, you're supposed to ask them, hey, Rodriguez, why are you doing this? Why do you want to be a Marine? Oh yeah, because I want a better life for myself. Because I want to I want I want to prove to myself that I'm strong, that I'm intelligent, and that I can accomplish goals. So it could be very personal why they're doing it. Those examples I gave don't match. I mean, so many reasons why people might want to be a Marine. Maybe they think it's the best way they can provide for their family. But just asking that question, why are you doing this? It reconnects you with the purpose. And the purpose has to be what drives you to accomplish the goal. Or else you wouldn't want the goal. So reconnect with the purpose. Ask yourself why. When you are grading papers, like sometimes I might do, and it takes hours and hours and hours, maybe it could be helpful to write in advance in those stacks of papers. If the students won't mind, you just write on top of their paper, why, question mark, or why are you grading this? And then when I don't feel like moving on, I might say, well, I'm grading this, I'll get to the 7th paper and I'll read why at the top and say, so why? Because by then I might be tired. But if I see why at the top, then I'll say, oh yeah, this is to put food on the table. I better get this done. Or this is to teach these students how to write properly so that people will respect them and take them seriously the next time they write an important email to an employer or for an important opportunity, that they have proper grammar skills, proper writing skills. So reconnecting with the purpose will help with motivation, will help you to finish the goal. Because firm determination is basically saying, come hell or high water, I'm going to accomplish this goal. That's important, to be firm with that. But you will still need motivation, especially if a task is very big. You will also need willpower. And studies are showing, and I'll show you some scientific data on another occasion, studies are showing that willpower is like a muscle to be developed. And the more I've been learning about willpower, the more I've been observing in myself when I have the least amount of willpower, and that is at night. Sometimes I reach the end of my day and I think of all the projects I've started. And I think, oh my God, what have I done to myself? There's no way I'm going to accomplish these things. I should just give up. I need to just discard these right away. A couple of these right away. But it's funny. I might go to bed like that. I may have gone to bed like that, sometimes a little depressed. But then I wake up the next morning and suddenly I'm like, you know what? I can do this. I just have to do this for this and that for that. My willpower is like right back up to 10, let's say, is recharged, replenished in the morning during the day. But as the day goes by, we are exerting willpower all the time, right? To accomplish your big goal, you're going to need willpower. In other words, the energy, the will to do it. You're going to need that. But willpower is finite. If in that same day that you wanted to work on your goal, you have a fight with your partner, you have an argument with somebody in your family, that takes willpower to think about, discuss, compromise, argue. That is depleting your willpower. After that, you didn't lift weights or anything, you didn't run a mile, but you feel tired mentally. And now you don't have that as much willpower for other things. If on top of that, you have other stuff to do, by the end of the day, you won't have the energy to work on your goal. If we have to go to work, for example, 8 hours a day, and think that when we get home we're going to work on our personal projects, it's complicated. Those 8 hours of work that we do deplete our willpower. And so then we have to find strategies to replenish our willpower later on so we can focus on our goals. And one way that I'll just tell you today that you can replenish willpower is through meditation. Before your projects, do a little meditation. Withdraw from the project. Think about the supreme consciousness. Focus on your breathing. Withdrawing from something actually creates an opportunity that when you come back to it, you will have new insight. That helps me so much when I'm trying to solve a problem. I just stop. I just know that I should just stop thinking about it. And then the solution just pops up while I'm in the shower, while I'm preparing a meal. So it's important then to be aware of willpower and don't set yourself up for failure. For example, I don't like to have important discussions too late at night because I don't have the patience to really hash them out. Studies show that most extramarital affairs, most cheating on partners occurs at night. Why? Because at the end of the day, people have less willpower. They've already their willpower has already been sucked out by their jobs, their obstacles. That at night, to refuse the temptation of another person sexually, they don't have the willpower to do that. But if it were the daytime, if it were the following morning, they might be able to refuse the affair. They have more willpower to do what is right. So willpower plays a role in accomplishing our goals, and we have to learn to not deplete it in things that are not conducive. So that goes for our distractions, our social media time, spending time with people that we don't need to be spending time with, that we don't need to be talking to. Life is short. We want the willpower energy to be used in the right direction because it's not the Energizer Bunny. The battery runs out, then you have to recharge. And one last tip on this topic is something I also talked about recently. Alain de Botton writes about this, about not caring about what people think. I mean, of course, he's not the only one who's written about this, but I'm mentioning him because he wrote a book on status anxiety, which is excellent. I really love that book. And he redefines he questions there, success as being a part of high status, being status achievement. And so if we are looking at success in that way, that has to do with status, then it's conditioned upon you getting recognition for your status, approval from the outside. But what we need to learn to do is not care about the approval of others, not seek the praise from others. Yeah, okay, so we say, no, I don't care if people criticize me. Good, you don't care when people criticize you. Great. But also don't care when people praise you. It's kind of the same, kind of the other side of that coin. So we have to learn to be focused on our goals, regardless of the approval of others. Sometimes your goals is dependent on people. Let's say your goal is to sell a product. Well, you need to make sure that people will want to buy that product. So in those cases, yes, you need to care if somebody's actually gonna buy it. But you shouldn't care what people think of you as you try to manufacture that product. Because when you're too much susceptible to the opinions of others, you will get weighed down. So, you must say, I will accomplish my goal. I don't care if my father thinks it's a stupid goal. I don't care if these people think that it's a stupid goal. It's important to me. And I will do it, regardless of those negative opinions. So these are some thoughts on having firm determination, some practical things that get in the way. And there's many more things to discuss on this topic, like I said, which I would love to do in the form of maybe a course or a webinar or something like that in the near future. So stay tuned for that. Now, thank you so much for listening. I want to hear your comments. Let's start over here on Facebook. Well, Hitendra says, beautifully designed book. Thank you, brother. Thank you for my beautiful pratik. Ah, yes. Hold that thought. You're very welcome. That's exactly what I want to talk about in a moment. I hope you're still with us. We started a little late today. Thank you, everybody, for staying on. Karen, it helps me to motivate me to achieve my goals, by writing them down and planning for the success of accomplishing the goal. Very nice, Karen. That's something I didn't get to talk about. Goal setting, firm determination is really about accomplishing goals, and having and developing that willpower strength to accomplish them, which is also another way of saying developing determination. And you are saying that writing down your goals and planning them for success is important. Absolutely. And that can be a whole other topic that we can discuss. What is the most effective way of goal setting? But planning and writing them down is important. And if you'd like to share more on that, please do. Hitendra says, I maintain my motivation by thinking of my world without me achieving my goal, and also what will everyone else's world be like if I don't achieve my goal. I think of how many smaller steps I can take to turn a project into very good. Sometimes it's just a matter of opening the textbook or turning. Sorry, folks. I guess new comments are coming in. Of opening the textbook or turning on the computer. Well, it's here in front of my face. I might as well do something 5 to 10 minutes a day toward each goal. Okay, great. Another important piece to this. When you set these goals and you say, I'm going to accomplish that goal, turn that goal into smaller steps and go through them one step at a time. There's a great system called SMART goals that is very, very helpful that I encourage you to Google. What are SMART goals? How to create SMART goals. Those SMART goals involve breaking things down into manageable pieces and reflecting on the importance, the motivation of why you would even do it. Okay? Thank you, brother. Jake says, I'd love to hear your thoughts on distress tolerance and its relationship to determination, consistency. Distress tolerance could be a great topic if you haven't done it yet. Okay. Well, thank you, Jake. Why don't you tell us right now a little bit about your thoughts on distress tolerance? Okay, let's see if we can have a small chat about it now. Tell us more about that. Now, over on YouTube, Christina says one tactic that helps me to sorry one tactic that helps me to remain motivated to complete a goal is to remember how the achievement will be beneficial to someone other than myself. That's great. I would hope and I would think that most of our goals also benefit other people. And a lot of times we have goals that we need to accomplish for the benefit of other people, like our family. And so thinking about them is evaluating why it's important. So thinking about how it helps other people is tapping into the why, and that's very helpful, Christina. So thank you for mentioning that.